Alrighty, and here we go. It's time for Shadow Man stage. Shadow. It's basically the same as Shadow Man stage in Mega Man 3, the NES version. Slight differences. Like in the opening scene, we have bombs. You can either jump to avoid this bomb explosion, or slide to the left to avoid it. And get used to those frog enemies because you'll see them a lot in this stage. Here's a frog enemy. Let me show you a Gemini laser. Okay, that was the Gemini laser being extremely unaffected. Because I did these levels out of order just to make it more challenging, I can't really show off all these fancy special weapons, which is a real shame. This is the section where everything goes dark and you have the walking grenades. You want to destroy the grenade as it appears on the screen. When you drop down, hit the grenade immediately. Otherwise, you'll have to go left to dodge it, because if you don't go left to dodge it, it's probably going to hurt you. See, I mean, if you try to dodge, you can do it, I presume, but it doesn't really work. And now I'm sort of stuck. I have to wait for the Disco Ball of Doom to pass to the left before I destroy it. So yeah, basically for this section of the stage, just keep on firing and destroy those grenades the instant they appear. And we have an empty screen. Why is there a pointless empty screen? Oh, and here we go. This is a more difficult section. This was probably the most difficult section of the stage in Mega Man 3. The section where you had the evil enemies which knock you into the lava pits. However, because you have the charge shot here, you can defeat the enemies in one hit. Fully charged shot destroys them in one hit, so they can't possibly knock you into the lava. It basically gets rid of the entire challenge of the section. Be careful with that frog enemy. If you don't destroy it, it would probably knock you back into the lava and kill you. Now, I believe the frog enemies can only be destroyed at a certain time. Like, right before they jump, or while they're jumping, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. My strategy is just fire wildly, and hopefully one of the shots will destroy the frog enemy. It's not exactly the greatest strategy ever. Yeah, those frog enemies give me trouble, especially in close quarters fighting. And here's another empty screen. And this is an easy screen. It kind of bugs me that 3 of the screens in this level are empty screens, because there are only 10 screens in this level. It's like a third of this level are screens like this one, where you don't do anything. Yeah, no, that just kind of bugs me. Anyway, here's Shadow Man. Here's how you fight him without dodging or using special weapons. Wait, did I say without dodging? No, the way to fight him without special weapons is by dodging, like this. Jump over the attacks, and slide underneath his large jumps. Just do that over and over and over again, and that's how you defeat him with just the Mega Buster. As for special weapons, the Gemini laser usually does the trick. I tried the Spark Shock, but it didn't really work. The Gemini laser is better because he's usually standing on the ground, so it's harder to miss. And there you go, Shadow Man is defeated. And then we get the Shadow Blade. Yes, the Shadow Blade is an awesome weapon, and I am definitely going to use it in the next stage, which is Snake Man stage. Most people recommend going to Snake Man stage first so you can get the rush coil, but I decided to fight the bosses in clockwise order for no particular reason, so Snake Man is last. Alright, so the stage begins with the snake heads. Basically, this first screen is one of the screens where you just want to fire all the time and destroy the enemies as soon as they appear. That's basically it. Ooh, and this is a good place to use the Gemini laser. You can use it to defeat the Hammer Joe. It bounces off the walls, and here you can see it's really effective if you had a lot of enemies in the screen. The Gemini laser would have hit all of them. And Shadow Blade used the Shadow Blade to defeat this enemy. Normally you're supposed to jump and shoot, but that's not as easy as using the Shadow Blade. With the Shadow Blade you can get 4 hits off in really quick succession, as you saw there. Hey, extra life! Awesome! And the Shadow Blade fires in 8 different directions. The Shadow Blade is going to get a lot of usage in this video just because it's a really useful weapon in this stage. Alright, just jump across the gap here. Whoops. Good thing I got that extra life. Let me try that again. Ah, there we go. And then we climb down. Oh, and here's Hammer Joe again. Oh, that's so lazy. They just repeated the same screen. Alright, come on, Mega Man, you can do it. Well, they repeated one screen, but obviously they're not going to repeat another screen, because that would be... Oh, there's the snake enemy again. Use the same strategy. 4 Shadow Blades straight to the snake mouth, and it's defeated. Here we have enemies which just bounce over you. Just stop, turn around, and destroy the enemy. That's how you defeat these springy, bouncy... I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, but they're springy, they're bouncy, maybe they're bed coil enemies. So just stop, turn around, and shoot at them. Once you have this attack pattern down, they're really simple to deal with. Oh, and here's Eddie. What does he have? An extra life? I'll take it. And this right here is the save point. If you die, you restart from here. Alright, those snake heads are mean because if they give you power-ups, by the time you reach the area, they disappear. Charge up a shot, jump, and shoot the enemy, which is going to attack you while you're going over. And use the Shadow Blade here to defeat the enemies while they're above you. This is primarily for the helicopter enemies, which, you know, drop down the helicopter parts on you, but it also works for the springy enemies. Okay, destroy the helicopters here and then go up. Here's another Hammer Joe. Notice that his eye changes when he's vulnerable. So when he only has one eye, that's when you can attack him. When his visor is full, then you can't attack him. Yeah, you guys understand what I mean. This is a tricky stage. Destroy the helicopter thing when you're level with it. And if you want, you can get the E-Tank by dropping down at the perfect moment, but it's really difficult. Shadow Blade is basically going to be my best friend while I go through this section. You have a lot of enemies which appear and try to knock you off of the platforms. So you'll definitely want to destroy all these enemies before they appear. It's easy to do that with Shadow Blade, which is why I prefer to use it. On this platform here, go all the way to the right to trigger the enemy. And destroy it before jumping to the next platform. If you don't trigger it ahead of time, it's probably going to appear while you're jumping and then knock you off, and then you will die. This happened to me about 6 or 7 times in a row. Okay, so Spark Shock is apparently the weakness of Snake Man. So, try to dodge Snake Man. I'm not really dodging him here because, well, I have his weakness weapon. And there you go. It looks like you only need 6 or 7 hits in order to destroy Snake Man. Finally, Spark Shock is a useful weapon. Other than that, Spark Shock isn't very useful. It freezes enemies in place, which isn't useful because the enemies don't leave the screen, they just stay on the screen, and they become an obstacle that you have to dodge.